Okay, great. I hope you're all having an amazing time on the second day at Beautyworld. It's been adventurous, so many amazing pavilions and so many exciting events happening. So great to be part of this yet again. So today, my agenda is to basically have the perspective of what's happening in the market now in the region. So today we will be discussing Arab beauty, the market in the now, exploring the latest opportunities in beauty in Middle East and Africa region. So I'll briefly introduce myself in the coming slide, but let's proceed ahead. So just a brief introduction about Euromonitor International. So Euromonitor International is a global market intelligence firm. We have global presence in over 16 countries across all different continents, including having an office in Dubai. So I am based in the Dubai office over here. We also, that means, have a very in-depth coverage of all the countries around the world. So that also includes the Middle East and North Africa region. So we are gracefully aging as well, like all of us over here. So Euromonitor has been in the business for 50 years now, and we have evolved as well along with the changing dynamics of the world. We are very much into ensuring that we provide clear insights with well-defined outcomes and recommendations, and even seek the right opportunities at the right time for any one of our clients or otherwise as well. Today's objective through the presentation, what you will see, is not only know about the market overall, but what has been transforming in the last 10 years and also in the last 1 year, and where we are going towards the near future as well. So we are going to look at the fact that new paths towards growth to unlock worlds of opportunity as well in this region. Everything that I will be talking about or I would be covering is all from our internal database called Passport. It basically looks at the health and beauty aspect. So within health and beauty, I've used information from beauty and personal care, consumer health, as well as other surveys such as Voice of the Consumer and Voice of the Industry, Consumer Life Survey as well. So everything that I'm going to be speaking about is well documented and researched. We are also using AI to look into research as well at the same time. So Passport AI is our latest launch, and I think it's important to know before I get into the stats and the data insights, etc., is that we are using machine learning to give us the latest insights and the latest data analytics to streamline and make our outcomes really precise, to even deliver results and to know how the market is transforming. So this is also part of what I'm going to present today, is from Passport AI and Passport Innovation. A little bit about myself. I guess a couple of you know me from the previous years as well, so I'm not really a new face. But my name is Amna Abbas. I'm Senior Consultant for Beauty, Health, Luxury, and Fashion based in the Dubai office. I've been born and brought up over here, and I've been looking after this industry from research and insight perspective for the last 10 years now, and beyond, actually. It's a little more than that. And I've seen the transformation of this industry from not only a professional lens, but also a consumer lens. And this is something that's really close to my heart, so that makes it giving a really good perspective. So today's agenda, we are going to look at the beauty industry in the year 2023-2024. We're going to look at the global versus the MENA landscape. Then we are going to actually look at the trends in terms of the beauty and personal care when it comes to the Arab world. And this is something that we've been doing over the years, but now the highlight is like really looking into the perspective of understanding how we have so well adapted to international trends in the region and the Arab beauty lens of it as well. Then we are going to dive into the health and beauty element, which is really something that we've seen transforming over the years. We're going to see the latest insights for this year, and then eventually exploring the current and future opportunities. So let's get ahead. So when we talk about global and MENA landscape, we see that the market is a very significant one, worth US dollars 569 billion globally. And when we look at it, we also see now these are current growth rates. And when we look at this, we see that the key categories continue to be skincare, hair care, color cosmetics, and fragrances. But at the same time, we also look that there are very much great growth rates across all categories. And we also see that, there are some trends when it comes to health and beauty also, like taking care of your skin inside out, etc. And we see that growth rates is something that's also stemming up from there, for example, on skincare. So we do see very significant market over here and growing at a very good speed when you even compare it to other industries or cross industries. When we look at the global growth rate, we see that beauty and personal care growth rate is 9%. And when we look at how it's expected to grow in the next 5 years, we see it at 8%. And this is in current terms. So this is something that we see that is growing quite strongly overall as well. And how does it compare? Let's look at it in the region perspective. Over here, we have the regional splits over here. And what we interestingly see that although we have the dominant ones continue to be Asia Pacific and North America, what we really see is that very strong organic growth coming from the Middle East and Africa region. So we see a growth of, now this is constant growth rate, and that's a very strong 4%, expected to grow and continuously grow over the years. And I think this is one of the reasons why we also see that our market is very attractive when you compare it to globally, is because that you do see very strong organic growth coming in for various reasons that we are going to describe later in the presentation as well. For those of you who are even local, regional, or even global over here in the exhibition this year, you will realize and feel also that there are factors playing into this dynamic. We have government plan and vision. You have business adaptability, consumers believe in one's macroeconomic factors, and global versus beauty concepts as well. What we see in this region is that, we have a lot of international brands which get really accepted well by the consumers over here. And at the same time, we do see government initiatives which are really encouraging to bring in more brands over here and to explore the market further on as well. So we do see these factors really playing in well and encouraging the growth rate too. Going forward, we also see in terms of MENA, what are the key markets or key countries and the growth related to that. So, and also in that way, deep dived regional factors influencing growth across key countries. So at this point, we do see our leaders to continue to be Saudi, UAE, Egypt, Kuwait. So we do see significance coming in from GCC countries as well as selected North African countries. Now, this is factored in by a lot of factors, but also like a government initiative as well as consumer ones. And combination of this really is helping us to propel growth for these countries. We have seen and we have all heard about Vision 2030 by Saudi Arabia. At the same time, in UAE, we've also heard about like Digital Dubai initiative. We've also heard about like factors such as NEOM and how that's transforming. We have seen encouragement in terms of tourism, for example. So in Saudi, we had, not only the global tourism flowing it, but also domestic tourism. So that's another perspective as well. How many people are, going from Jeddah to Riyadh to Dammam, and how many people are coming from other parts of the world to as well to Saudi. So these all factors are contributing to the growth of the economic growth, but also in terms of how much they are using in terms of beauty and want to also use beauty brands. So we do see the strong background encouraging growth rates across the countries as well as in the region. Moving forward, now curious to know which categories are we leading at compared to global to local. So we do see that it's all about taking care of oneself. Yes, why not? So we have hair care, skincare, fragrances, and bath and shower. And this is this 4 leading one. And we do also see very strong growth rates. Now, this is again current terms. But if you have compared to global to local market, we see really strong growth rates coming in from the region. And this is something that's really interesting to note. And We might have observed in the last few days of Beauty World also that there are talks about like holistic health and wellness, of beauty, etc. And that's something that's really interesting to see that in these bleeding categories also there are elements of that prevalent, and we will see the reasons for it going forward as well. So we do see the regional market to be of US 40 billion, and then we also see a growth, a very strong growth of 19% in the year 2023, as well as in the next 5 years. So this goes to show that there is strong demand from the consumer side, that the business, if and when, how they fulfill in the right way, would lead to a win-win situation. So we are going to the next theme of ours, and this is something that's really important. This beauty industry is not only driven by women, but also by men. And I mean, we have to also get kids involved. So it's a very holistic industry. We all are part of it for sure. Since a baby is born, he's using or she's using a bath and shower product out there. And as we are getting up in the morning, we are making sure we brush our teeth. So there's our toothbrush and toothpaste. We are using our shower gels, etc. So it's an integral part of our daily routine. And over the years, we not only see as a basic necessity, but also a want. Beauty as a language of culture, heritage, and identity. And this is something that we have known for years, but now it's very distinctively coming out there. And there's so many opportunities when we look into it as well that we explore. So the Middle East and Africa beauty industry, it continues to be very lucrative, with opportunities emerging from consumers who want to enhance their natural beauty as part of their self-expression, identity, and culture while using integrated regional and local brands. And it's very important to note that as consumers are becoming more vocal about their preferences and willing to invest in products and services that enhance the beauty, health, and wellness business that enable consumers' desire to fulfill their want or to benefit. So we have to realize that international brands who are in the region are also looking at that what do consumers want globally, regionally, as well as locally. And this is not only in a short-term perspective. A consumer is likely going to be with you not only for few months, but likely going to be with you for more than years as well. So it's very important to look at it from a health and wellness perspective as well. And we see a lot of formulations getting upgraded or enhanced because of that reason also. So let's explore this a bit further. So I have looked over here from 3 elements, which is going to be really interesting. We have the Arab beauty, the international brands, and the Arab region consumer. Now, when I speak about Arab beauty, or A beauty as I will call it throughout the presentation for short, it's looking at a sense of identity around Middle East and Africa, connecting communities through shared cultural expressions. I think we have to acknowledge that for many years we have adapted to international brands, which are amazing. They've got amazing formulations, amazing results, etc. But at the same time, we are very much open to looking at what's available in our region and look for solutions and effective products and services and be very much adapted to that as well. And as we go forward, we would see a blend of international brands also doing not only campaigns, but maybe also enhancing their formulations or having some regional punchline to it as well to cater to this region. And I think we've seen quite a lot of examples around for that over the years. I think over the last few days, we've heard of Arabian fragrances, for example, like how there has been always Western fragrances, and then how that has gone also to the fact that, the blend of Western and Arabian and French fragrances. So we do see that kind of a blend coming in quite a lot of times over the years. Still, we see now that's the hype. That's the growing hype that has been existent and will continue to also be there. So we do see that Arab beauty will be called out loud and galore for its own pros as well as acceptability. And then you have international brands coexisting together as well. And we need to realize that the region, the consumer in the region is quite, what do you say, well aware, savvy, quite accepting as well. And there are going to be a young population that are, we all heard about Gen Zs or millennials, but I call it Zennials. And I believe you might have heard of that term quite a bit as well. If not, today you can Google it. But Zennials are us in our 30s, 40s. Gen Zs are the ones who are the younger crowd. And never forget the alphas, they're also coming soon. I mean, it's very important to realize that over the years, population will consist of a combination, and the young crowd is something that will not only teach us, but we will learn from them and vice versa as well, you know. I have a little interesting story. The other day, I had a niece of mine saying to the grandmother was saying it, why don't you use the all-purpose, you know, Nivea face cream and some ice, and then just dip your face in it, and that will keep your face like really wrinkle-free, and that's the way to go it. And then, you know, the little kid who was borderline Gen Z and Generation Alpha, she said, didn't you see that TikTok video? It's all about retinol and drunk elephant now, you know? And that was like such an interesting example, because I remember the grandmother used to be the book of knowledge. And now just this person been in this world for a couple of years is giving her the lesson of life. Like, go get it. You'll get great results too. So this is the interesting point of that, the human aspect, the connectability and the knowledge sharing and, you know, the outcome from it. So we have to be really well aware of the strong, you know, economic growth, the consumer wants awareness, and at the same time, business satisfying it. Moving ahead, I have some examples and case studies. And I thought for this year, I should spice it up a bit, because previously I did have a lot of international global examples. But this year, I've used some of the regional ones, and I believe they're really interesting. The first one I'm going to speak about is La Arboutique, which is a Saudi Arabian brand. And we did discuss about like a lot of our formulations and efficacy, but there is also the element of ingredients and what is available locally. So it's all about diversification and increasing that, you know, base as well. So we see that this brand has a lot of natural local ingredients over here. So it's including Zamzam water, which is sacred to Saudi Arabia. We also have over here Medina rose or Taif rose, so rose grown in certain areas of Saudi Arabia. And we also have saffron, for example. So we do see that kind of elements coming in and pretty much being accepted by the region because they're familiar with the ingredient as well. The second example I have is of Luban, Oman. And Lubban is a frankincense, so it is having great anti-aging properties, and people have been using it not only now, but for ages. But to see a product out there that is easy to use, I mean, if you want to use it just by using it originally, then you're going to have to like get it from solid to liquid, and that's a process. But to have it in a already made cream or something like that, that just makes it so much convenient. And then you also have Mariam from UAE, and this is using cedar leaves, which is very well known in the region as well. And this one is a skincare serum and an eyebrow serum as well. Oh, we have to take care of our eyebrows and eyelashes, don't we now? If I tell this to some people, they would be like, what? But the people in the region, they know it. I have to take care of my brows. It's a different level of taking care of it. You have to put effort. It just makes such a great difference. So yeah, some people are really passionate about it, including me. So yeah, so that's few examples. Then we might have heard about this one as well. When we talk about fragrances, we speak about, of course, oud. We speak about, like the different top note, middle note, end note. We talk about layering. But something goes beyond that is the hype as well. And I think it's really important to highlight how these products and services also make an impact in our life, whether it's going to the salon for your manicure, pedicure, and having a heart to heart topic discussion who's doing your service. We also see that, the products are made in keeping the consumer in mind. So over here we have divorce. I hope a lot of you might have heard of. If not, then there is a lot of hype on social media about it. And it's quite powerful because in life, there are different life stages. And last year I spoke about, growing up. So different life stages that happens in a man's life, a woman's life. But there are also different social stages as well. So that's something over here. Then Huda Beauty also came with the Easy Blur foundation. Now, this is really interesting because the trend of filter on social media is very much common. You put a filter, no need for your makeup. Okay, great. So, but now you have a foundation that you can be as good as that filter. And this is a new launch by Huda Beauty. And then, of course, we cannot forget Khayali fragrances as well. They do have some interesting launches, quite frequently that looks into the regional elements as well. So that's few more examples, but we can always have more. So I will give you a few more examples. So we have Catherine Jones serum over here. Now it's great to see, international brands also opening up over here, or even people from abroad using UAE as their country as a homegrown brand. So we do see serums from Catherine Jones doing really well. She has a pharma background. She has like a medical base. And we see a lot of people who have a pharma or medical base also to come into the beauty. So we see, incorporation of health as well when it comes to beauty all the time. We also have Isil Beauty over here, and this is a black seed oil. Now, we all have this readily available in the region, or we can source this quite well, but to you or market in a way and to make it seamlessly able to use it as well, I think that's great. So we have seen popularity of black seed oil rising as well. Then a new launch by the Camel Soap Factory. So I like this because we've had like a lot of tourists always buying camel soap, taking it back home and then having great results on their skin. A lot of people who had skin irritation because of using harsh chemical based, products and services came to natural alternatives, and it worked really well for them. So things can be really simple and effective. And that's the story when it comes to, brands available in the region as well. These are just some recap of the ingredients we spoke about in our case study. I'm sure there is much more, but we cannot undermine them anymore this year. Over the course of the years, we will see more of this being officially used in products and services in the region, not only by the regional or the local companies or products, but also internationally. So black seed oil, cedar leaves, henna, luban, olive, mountain honey. And it's interesting to know that these ingredients may not only have moisturizing properties, but also healing properties. So it would be anti-inflammatory or, even like antimicrobial or even antibacterial. It would be really essential for brands and companies to even cater or even to communicate that to us, that what is the benefit of it, and what is the benefit of it not only for the short-term usage, but also to incorporate in your different life stage for the future. So that's another perspective. So now we are looking at a little deeper level compared to beauty. We are going into the health aspect. And I always say that, of course, that in the long run, I think someone else also said this the other day, like I'm feeling it in my 40s, 50s, 60s. As I'm aging, I don't feel like I'm that young anymore, And this is something that's really important or opportunity led, even by businesses. How can, I would just say it very simply. Even your car needs maintenance. Twice a year, at least, you take it to the service center. Everything needs maintenance, right? And the human body is the most efficient machine that we have all seen, is ourselves. It's got the ability to heal. The moment you start bleeding, it starts self-healing itself. And then when you use a bandage or you use your cream, etc., it, just does the process faster and much more efficiently, and then it all falls into place. So consumers are realizing that what I am using now is going to be very, very much important of how it will reflect for me in the future. It is as good as investment as you would invest in money. So before even financial investment, the investment in health is what being seen right now. So according to Euromonitor International's Voice of the Consumer Lifestyle Survey, 52% of consumers believe they'll be healthier in the next 5 years than they are now. And this goes to show that consumers want to be healthy and also to invest in products and services that support them. And beauty and health products are on the high end of the game. One of the reasons this industry is doing so well, and the result of this is a very successful Beautyworld presentation as well. Let's look at some numbers. So we see the perceptions of health also changing over the course of years. And we see that when it comes to beauty and health as well, when consumers are looking into it, they're looking into a very holistic perspective. So they're looking into boosting their self-worth, their self-esteem, their self-confidence, and that comes into the emotional and mental well-being side. At the same time, they also want to feel good, so the emotional well-being, oh, I put that lipstick on, I feel like my face has brightened up because I used that skincare routine over the months. I don't have to go and get the Botox in my 60s because I've been using a regime earlier on. Or just comparing it with your guy friends or your husband. Okay, my skin looks like this versus yours. What can we do about it? So it's all in a good spirited way, but the idea of you will be as productive as healthy you are. So the game is of, trying to live maybe 100 years or something. But if you're living that long, you need your health first. I think that's where the aspect of using beauty and health products comes in as well. And we see it over across categories as well. So the aspect of women's health is something that's been highlighted quite a bit. We have some content in Euromonitor where we have like some strategic briefs and data on women's health specifically. We also have a free to download white paper called The Top Global Consumer Trends, which looks at the wellness pragmatist. So we see that, one of the key trends continues to be in the wellness space, and beauty is a very important part of that. We also see men's health aspect coming in. So in that case, the base is the men's grooming, establishing maybe a simple 3-step routine of cleanse, moisturize, sunscreen. And then we are also looking at men's related topics, which comes with time and age also. So this might include supplements and even to take care of prostate health, for example. So these are the themes that's also coming in over the years. And we also see the trend that I'm going to speak in the next slide more about, which is skinification. And when we talk about skinification, it's like taking care of hair or any other part of your body just as good as your skin. So let's go to the next one. So the product innovation that we see coming over the years, now this is also coming through our product innovation tool and through our sustainability product as well. So this is something that we have also researched upon. And what we increasingly see that the products that we are seeing in the market are increasingly having the functionality of taking care of your skin, hair, or even if it's fragrance in a health perspective way. So anything that you're using will be for you in the long run and also contribute to your health as well. So we see, for example, the top 5 sustainability attributes over here in the country of UAE and KSA. And we also saw when it came to that, it had less artificial ingredients, sustainable sourcing, diets, safer, no chemical ingredients, and sustainable packaging. So when it comes to having products in the market, they're going towards having less chemical, using more bioactive ingredients, something that would really give you results, but at the same time would not lead to any kind of ill effects irrespective. There's a greater focus on this now and over the years as well that we will see. And even the products that's appearing in the region do have a sense of that also coming in. We also have our product innovation tool, which kind of gives us an indication that what kind of products have been launched over the years. So I believe this tool has started tracking from 2024, 2023, 2022, one, so the last 3 to 5 years. And what we interestingly see that names such as Garnier Skin Active Sunscreen. So we are seeing sunscreen formulations. Even with vitamin C, we also see sunscreens coming up which are like safe for the environment, safe for the ocean. So we do have, higher SPF, but also with less chemical formulations coming in. We actively see companies actually are putting in a lot of effort to make sure that the formulations that are out there is something that the consumers will not even react to in a negative way. So skin sensitivity is taken care of, even if the skin has eczema or something like this, it can still be used. So this is great initiatives that has been happening and that we also see coming up through our results over here. And the emergence of skinification trend, it's going to remain so. And I think now that we have to highlight even the purest form of oud, it's a little trivia for the day. The purest form of oud, which is actually quite expensive at times, is that it also has health benefits. Historically, it was being used by hakims or like health doctors who were looking at natural herbs or that. So oud was also one of the ingredients they used to cure people back then. So it's really interesting to know how pure ingredients actually have benefit and been used in the past. So it's like a little bit of back to the future vibe over here coming in for all good reasons. I have some examples over here as well. If you've not heard of them, then I will go in more detail, but I can give some teaser also just by giving you an overview. So Charlotte Tilbury launched Scent and Emotions Exploration over here. So the Charlotte Tilbury, the power of scent to unlock emotions. So it's a collection of scents. It's available in their stores. It was recently launched even in this region. And I think it's been 3 to 6 months, I think 3 months. So each of these fragrance has an emotion linked to it. There is joy, there is love, there is, mystique or magical power, etc. And this is something that's really important to note. When we had the concept of fragrance coming in the region or the Middle East, it was always about like good smell, powerful smell, layering, etc. But it also led to, having the place clear, clean, nice, well fragranted, and also it helps with the emotions. Over the years, we have seen in fragrance or in any other subcategory the trend of skinification, as well as looking at scent and emotions. So, like enhancing emotions through products and services as well. So, this is something really interesting to note that this has been explored not only from the region, but even learned from the region and explored in other parts of the world, and then launched over here as well. So, we have different kind of scenarios. Then I have one international example, which is Colgate Optic White range, and I think they're really innovating when it comes to teeth whitening. There are a lot of people who might go to the dentist for this purpose, but there are a lot of people who don't go to it but still want whiter teeth. And covering up those gaps or gray areas with you try to improve formulations or bring new updated products and services in the market continues to be really paramount and important. So this is another new launch that happened. And we all know how Colgate always does innovations in whitening, but they continue to do it further as well. Then we also have QV cream. And it's very interesting to note that QV as a skincare product always at skin conditions like eczema or skin sensitivity or those who have, redness of the skin, etc. So those with sensitive skin always use QV. But then they also want to take care of the skin overall, help to moisturize in different weather conditions or even through different situations. So in Saudi, they have the Ihram kit, which is for Hajj and can be also, of course, used for Umrah or similar occasions when you're going to visit Makkah or Medina. But this Hajj checklist is very interesting because they say, do you have your kit with your necessity over here? Do you have your QV shower gel, soap, or moisturizer there as well? So this is something really interesting to note that international brands are looking at occasions and also catering to that and making it easy, convenient for consumers to shop as well. We have more case studies, and I think it's really important to note from the retailers aspect as well. The future is all actually about the holistic omni-channel approach. And I think we need to be aware, when they say, okay, e-commerce, or they say offline retail, what's happening there? Like, what are you looking for? What's up? So I think it's really important to note the holistic omni-channel approach. Whether I want to buy a product offline, online, or wherever, I should be able to buy it. There are busy mommies, there are overworked daddies, there's a combination of everything. I just want my product now, the kid is crying. There's a school project to be done, or the single people who just want to have a rest day. There are so many occasions or busyness in life that's happening now. To make sure a product is easy to be purchased, hence remains very important. And over the course of the years, we've seen the distinctiveness and more variety of products also appearing in the market. From Al Futtaim, we have the Watson's retailer that came in, and it's a well-known retailer in Asia. It bought in a lot of Korean beauty or Asian beauty products over here, and which is well accepted. Korean and Asian beauty over here is very well accepted for obvious reasons. They're great, and they also suit as well a lot of consumers. So we see increased adaptability, and we see increased acceptance as well of, for example, Watson's retail in the region. We also have another retailer, which, a lot of you might be knowing as Nykaa originally, and Nykaa collaborated with Apparel Group, and they also launched in as Nysaa in the region. And they bought in a lot of interesting brands with it from India, for example. One of them is also K Beauty, which is by Indian Bollywood celebrity Katrina Kaif. And to show the holisticness of that aspect, she had a campaign or a YouTube, Insta collaboration. So it might be there in other social media. Maybe Gen Zs will know if it was on TikTok. I, as a millennial, know it was on Insta at least. So K Beauty and Huda Beauty, they had a talk about exploring products, beauty products, and how, as women, they're empowering each other and, how they're supporting each other's brand and just talk good things about beauty industry. And that shows really interesting elements of how it could be a very community-led aspect as well, and self-encouraging, woman empowerment, etc. Themes of this can also come in. We also have something called as Loves, which looks at halal beauty. Now, we have the correct assumption that everything that comes to the region does have halal aspect into it, is halal. Yes, we do see also brands really going after that halal certification, especially when they're in the region and going abroad or are abroad or in the region. And this really works good in certain categories, such as halal nail polish, for example. And this has been something that has been working over the years, but we have not seen it dying. It's only growing with time. Now you have brands more than Inglot, you have Loves, you have Nailberry. A lot of the saloons did not have this when I started working in this industry. And now if I go to it, I see quite a lot of saloons or even places where I have the option to buy that as well. So that's great to know. We also have Ayurveda as a concept that we all heard of, but we also see Forest Essential, which explores luxury Ayurvedic beauty. And the interesting part of it is that Arab beauty in itself has so much greatness, but it's very much open to adapting into so many of these as well in the region. So it seems to be a very win-win situation indeed. And in that perspective, I would like to look at business opportunities in terms of overall, not only retailer, but digital tech, but a holistic perspective. we are making the theme as we go as well. But I believe it's really important to look at digital as a whole and look at various elements of it, of how it can be incorporated into a success story. Now, of course, we have the hyped words social media, Gen Z. I remember it used to be at one point millennials. Of course, with time, things do change for sure. But we need to be authentic, genuine, and trustworthy related as well as the theme goes on. So over here, we have some examples of like Arab beauty influencers redefining authentic beauty through social media. And we know, like we had also Joelle yesterday, a session where she was, talking about her story as well and how humble she was when she was interacting with people too. So in similar ways, we do see social media influencers being really humble, who those who really have a good following. I have two examples. One we all know is Khayali, which is by Mona Katan, which is Huda Katan's sister. And the example that caught my eye is the Yum Pistachio Gelato launch, which happened recently as well. And of course, the trend of kunafa pistachio has not been unheard of. Some people are really like taking chocolate bars for the loved ones abroad. So using some local ingredients to create flavors also seems to be very much out there. So this is one example. We also have another influencer called Manal Muffin who collaborated for her fragrance with the fragrance brand called Shaga Fragrance. So that's another example. We also have global players such as Sephora. I mean, we do have to mention them, don't we? Who had their Ramadan campaign. They also had other campaigns going on. So the interesting part over the years is that they are also looking at how to adapt to the culture and what is it about it that sets them apart. So inspired by community and inspired by beauty, it can all go in hand, and that's an aspect that we see over here. Now I look at it, of course, from another lens, which will not be completed if I don't. So we do see that businesses do have planned investment in the next 5 years. Now, again, this is according to Euromonitor Voice of the Industry digital survey. And we do this on an annual basis as well. And on the other side, we also have Euromonitor Voice of the Consumer Lifestyle Survey. So a lot of this information is validated by asking industry professionals or consumers as well. So we do see as part of planned investment, there is definitely investment planned for generative AI, incorporation of AI. We also have robotics or automation playing a key role. So this could be in supply chain, incorporating chatbots, etc. Also GPS tracking, biometrics, artificial intelligence, blockchain, etc. So we do see that there will be more incorporation of digitalization over the next 5 years. And then at the same time, we do see that, the human element will remain very important. So the idea is to enhance human element by using digital, but it's going to be really important to have a human in place somewhere or down early in the line. So using a communication or messaging app is going to be considered a leading part of digital activity, for example. So keeping in touch with your consumers. We also have updating social networking sites, streaming videos, accessing my banking services, comparing prices, etc. So it seems that the human element will be very important when we are incorporating digitalization, while even digitalization is going to be hyped upon and very important. And on this note, I will come to my conclusion bit. And I think this has been a very much interesting year. 2024, 2025 is coming soon. We are going to enter November. So the year is going to be on an end. But I believe this year has been very much dynamic in the sense that despite so many challenges in the region, there are so many opportunities, as well as consumer wanting to have services and products that really help them to enhance their beauty, their health, and also, their self-identity, their self-worth, their self-confidence. We have seen the transition of this industry over the years from just being like, okay, these are the great beauty products I have, I'm using it, etc., to for my, physical appearance. But we have seen more holistic incorporation of a theme of how important these products have been in a person's life, and how they also feel, as businesses, that we have to enhance the consumer's life. So this is something that's going to be a narrative that will continue to drive over the next year as well. So there's going to be a very, even with competition increasing, company and brand adaptations to Arab beauty will remain paramount. The well-being prioritization does need to be there. So we will see product innovation going towards that line. It's very important to have the human element. So, and communicating with your consumer of where they are. So, TV ads are becoming a little old school unless there's a game going on. But definitely, you do see that, social media surfing, or for Gen Zs, the TikTok algorithms are pretty much in sync. So, know where your consumer is and what's going in their mind. And in the end, authentic sustainability. I think we have to look at it in an authentic way. Any of these themes. Is it doable? Is it workable for my company? Is it just a hype? Consumers are very smart and savvy in this region as well. So they have, they not only think from their heart or their gut or their mind, they're thinking from all of these factors. So it's really important to keep a consumer not only in the short term, but also mid and long term, and create products, or, communicate with them about the existing product in light of that. So I know we have 9 minutes remaining. So before I jump to the Q&As, we do have a QR barcode and my email address over here in case you want a copy of the presentation or want to know where to get information or free white papers also from Euromonitor International. We have an insights page as well, which gets regularly updated. So feel free to enlighten yourself with the latest beauty, health, and even other industry trends. And thank you for joining, and feel free to contact me, and I will get the floor open for questions. So, yeah.
Do we have any questions from the audience? I guess it was crystal clear.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, great. I'll be around off the floor as well if needed. And I think we can keep this on for a minute as well in case they just want to grab the information and touch base later on.
Oh, fantastic.
All right.
Your QR code.
Yeah.
Very well done, Amna. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Thank you. Great to see you this year.